Oh, you're back.
I'm back. Let me turn all my shit off here. I get these. I'm the king of spam caller. It's just like so. And I'll never answer them. If I don't know the number, I don't answer it. And even people that I do know your number, I'm not going to answer it. But it's like a spam caller shit. It's everywhere. And so somebody said today on the way in, I was on the phone and I got a spam call, and they're like, "Oh, is that your girlfriend?" And I'm like, that's a great idea for people out there that they put like Pizza Hut and shit like that. Spam call. Nobody just spam call. You just click it off. But the suggestion was play spam call roulette. Just put everybody's number as spam call.
You're crazy enough to do that.
If I would just put spam call for everybody, and then just I'm bored today. Everybody's spam. Oh, is it Eric? Is it somebody that told me that I can get a loan for $68,000? Is it the IRS?
Well, the latest thing is like I get these phone calls now where they say your loan. I got one today. It said your business loan for $275,000 has been approved.
That's the one I get. Yeah,
I never. And this went on forever. And I called the lady up, and it wasn't the same lady that the text was from. It was a text all bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm like, I never filled out an application. Oh, no, but you're pre-qualified. I'm like, you said I filled out an application.
I can't believe you called.
I did. I got tired of it. Yeah. It's the same company.
It's all the same thing. Yeah, and that's exactly it. They say the application you filled has been approved. Look, I've got work paperwork that I haven't filled out.
Yes, I know all about that.
Yeah, sure, I'll send it today, and it's just like 2 weeks later. It's just still going on it.
Okay, so what I wanted to do was have you recount a couple of the crazy stories I get asked by people all the time. So through the tapestry of this podcast, now do you realize we started in 2019? It's 6 years.
6 years. Wow.
So,
yeah, I guess we did start.
People have pulled out, and what's crazy is we never went into a show with an agenda. This might be the first time ever where we have a somewhat agenda. Right? You know what I mean? We never did.
Yeah.
So all these stories just came out naturally through conversation.
Yeah. It's just sitting here talking.
So the question I always get is, are you in the mood to recount some of this shit?
Yeah. See, we don't talk about what we're going to talk about. So I'm thinking it's going to be politics because that's a hot thing.
No.
Yeah, we need a big wheel. We need a wheel that spins and says, what's Fred going to talk about today? Well, stories,
the wheel
politics.
Of Fred.
It's like the
wheel of Fred.
Oh man!
I actually thought you were going to surprise me, and maybe bring that popcorn machine today. I was thinking.
I thought about that. I actually did. I thought about.
We haven't done it up here.
Yeah, we haven't done the pop. Yeah, we've done it
up here. No, down.
That was on the other place. Yeah, it kind of looks the same. But
thank you. Just bigger.
Yeah,
more.
But more. I need a bigger popcorn machine then.
That thing was. It's about the table anyway.
And we don't have like the booze bar. We need sitting here.
Well, that's because we're filming in the middle of the afternoon.
What's that? Stop me before.
You also don't have your. In the beginning, you used to carry that little solo cup and used to put money in there every time you swore.
The swear jar? I'd make a fortune on that now.
All right, so let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Of all of the road stories you've encountered, all of them, okay, what is by far the craziest, and probably they're all funny to you because again, as long as it's funny to Fred, it's okay.
That's
right. But what do you think is the funniest experience you've had on the road?
Man, there's funny ones
that you can actually talk about.
Yeah, there's some that there's the greatest rock and roll story ever told, man.
I have teased that to audiences,
and I can't tell it.
I know, I know it, but I can't say anything.
I'll tell it in small groups. And people go, there's no way, and I'm just like, you want to see pictures? And it's just like it's the nuttiest. It's the but I mean, man, I've had adventures like all over the world. The early Ozfest things on Black Label.
All right, let me stop you right there. Wasn't there a situation that there was some kind of like skeleton you were painting or something like that.
Oh yeah, we made our own props back in the day. You know,
like what do you mean?
All like the Black Label stage stuff was like, you know, dude, we need skeletons on the stage. Let's call up and get some medical skeletons. So you call up and get some medical, you know, like medical school. You know, this is a femur, this is a skull, you know, this is your vertebrae. You know, like it was like hanging skeletons. So we all got blow torches and we're like, you know, and we just burn them, you know, and just make them look scary and spooky and stuff like that.
Then Ozzy walked by.
Yeah, Ozzy walked by. And I'm just like sitting there enjoying myself, you know. I talk about this on that, this was at John Henry's one year. And we're sitting there, and I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" You know, it's like Ozzy walking by. I'm like, "I'm sitting there paying," and he's like looking at me. Like, and he goes, "What's with the guy upside? He's more fucked up." Don't look at him; he's more fucked up than I am. He's out there painting a skeleton, or burning a skeleton. You know, I'm sitting there burning stuff. But yeah, we used to do all kinds of fun little arts and crafty things like that. Trying to think with Black Label, you know, it was all about having fun, you know, and with those guys, it was like a group effort that everybody, you know, we all sat, you know, we all hung out together, we all ate together, we all drank together, we all did things together, sports together, you know. I mean, I think we were going cross country, and we used to play like condiment ball, you know, like throw some mustard. I got all videos of this stuff, you know, throw orange juice.
No. Since you brought it up, let's have a little more in-depth discussion. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. That happened because it was the final date of the 13 Days from Hell?
No. That's
Am I conflating two things?
Yeah, it's a whole different.
Well, okay, briefly tell the audience what that was.
What, the condiment ball?
No. We'll get to that.
Oh, so we finished Ozfest. And
what year would this be? Guessing.
Man, I can't.
Early.
Yeah, because we did the video in Detroit. So whenever Bruised and Broken Bone came out, 2003 maybe, we had our last show was in Dallas, Texas. Last Ozfest show, Dallas, Texas. But our next show with Black Label is 13 days later, and it's shooting a video. So what are we going to do? You know, send them home? Nah. Let's just put them on the road for 13 more days after a grueling summer of Ozfest, and that
on the bus.
On the bus, but we had nothing to. We were gonna put we were gonna tow the stuff in a trailer. Well, the only trailer they had was like for dirt bikes, and we had a full Ozfest stage set for Black Label. And they brought us like this dirt bike trailer that's not rated for. So we put we're like, dude, this, you know, man, I know that this isn't going to work. You know, just put it in the trailer. I'm telling you, it's not going to. Just put it in the trailer and see what happens. I'm telling you, just put it in the trailer. I put it in the trailer. We blew the tires on the thing. It was so much weight. I mean, it just went poop, pop out the side. So now we're stuck. We've got to go to Clinton, Iowa, or whatever, from Dallas, Texas, and we've got no trailer because the wheels blew off. So eventually, we just went and got a Ryder truck, and we drove it around.
So
there.
Who had to drive the Ryder truck?
It was me and Tim Bolin, and that becomes that. That was just, you know, we're going here, and here, and you know, all this crazy.
So wait, the truck is following the bus.
Yeah, the truck's following the bus, and it was a lot of driving.
The 13 days of grief.
Yeah, so we go from Dallas, and we're driving all over the place just to get back to Detroit and Harpo's, where we filmed Bruised and Broken Boned. And that was, you know.
Now, wait, help me understand this. So, was that the final show?
The Bruised and Broken Bone.
So, the 13 days was leading up to
up to it, yeah.
Now, my question was is the rumor true that you had already done a bunch of shows, whether it was the Ozfest was ending or whatever, and everybody thought they were going home?
Yeah.
And at the last minute, you got to.
Yeah, it was the last minute. Hey, guess what? We're going out for 13 more days. And he had that 13 years of grief. Well, this was 13
wasn't there also like a caveat that no one could bathe?
Oh yeah, it was. They were playing clubs. there's no showers in these things. There's no hotels. We're going straight to so it was pretty bad. I mean, it was. I mean, and I'm sitting there, me, Mr. Bathe twice, shower twice a day with my Pantene. And I've got like a dreadlock, like a bird's nest, and I'm like bird's nest hanging around my head, and I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. So yeah, so we finally get there, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we get there, we play the show, and we're happy, and then like the next day, they added a show in like somebody's garage in Wisconsin, and it was just like, it's like, wait, what?
Someone's garage?
Yeah, it was like some. It's like, yeah, we got this thing.
It's an acoustic thing, or was it?
No, it was a real full on thing, and and I just remember it was just. And I'm sitting there going, you got to be kidding me, man! It never ends. So yeah, it was like 13 days of grief leading up to Harpo's, and then we had the.
Was it at Harpo's where the condiment ball happened?
No, condiment ball happened in Connecticut, and everything was great. Man, so we used to do this stuff just for shits and giggles. We had Mike Piazza gave us a bat, so everything was good. And we're out there and we had fun. We would hit softballs and stuff like that. And then one day somebody threw a thing of mustard or something, and that's
they didn't feed you or something, right?
For the Connecticut. That's what started the Connecticut condiment ball. So we got like a bunch of condiments, and just the back, we weren't going anywhere for a while. And we had a lot of booze, and we didn't eat, so we started playing baseball. And this club door was like the backdrop or whatever, on the side of the club, and yeah, it was us and I think Brand New Sin. I've got most of it somewhere
on video.
Yeah, somewhere. But and we just, it was the camaraderie was great with those guys. I mean, we had fun all the time. It was just about having fun. But I me. I don't want to get dirty, and it's not my thing.
You had to be already dirty.
I was no, on that one we were taking showers, and
like it's a luxury Black Label.
And so I mean, so it was fine, but if I'm going to get mustard or mayonnaise on me, I want to know that I can wash it off. Not like there's nowhere for me to go. There's no hotel, and I'm about to get really dirty. And I'm like, I think I'm going to sit this one out. I did pitch a few times. I think I hit. I eventually did hit.
So what were you hitting? Like gallons of milk or like?
You go. It's like you rate a Sam's Club or whatever. No, look, check it out. Here's a. People say, what do I need a 20-pack of mustard for? I can tell you what you need a 20-pack of. I can put that to work. And that's what we did, man. We had like mustard and ketchup and everybody got a turn swinging at this stuff. And everybody was dirty. And I was just like, man, I'm just going to.
And the club building was the home run wall.
Well, it was the backstop. But I mean, but the bus was too. So it was in between the bus and the wall.
The bus driver had to love that.
Yeah, he was mad. He was mad. I remember his name was Ronnie. He was mad. But yeah, man. I mean, but we had we just went out and we did fun. We were driving from one end of the country one year, and there's a lot of downtime. And you're cooped up. You're cooped up on a bus if you're going from Chicago to Washington State. And I remember we stopped at one place and we were playing baseball, and it was like home run derby. So you're going out and we're driving down the road, and off to the right there is a baseball field. It's like, dude, turn the bus around. We're going to go play baseball, and it's just like
the band.
Yeah, just a band and crew on one bus, Let's go play some baseball. Let's go get out of this bus and hit some balls. All right, cool. So it's like Sunday morning.
Wait, let's picture this now. Everybody is in like boots and leather.
Yeah. Your Black Label. You got your Black Label vest. You got your black T-shirt.
Did anybody have tennis shoes?
Yeah, I mean, everybody takes them, but most of the time you're just in boots. There's some stupid fucking Battle for Ozfest video where I'm sitting on the bus and he's like let's go. We gotta do this Ozfest thing. And I'm like, dude, let me get my pants on because I like shorts on. It's like hot. It's like 100 degrees outside, 110 degrees outside. No, dude, just go. So I got like a pair of shorts on, and I throw my boots on. They're like all flip flopping off of me. I didn't even tie them, and I'm out there trying to be tough in a pair of shorts. It's just like yeah, it just doesn't have the same effect. You know what I mean? But I remember we're at this baseball field. And we're sitting there, and we're filming and drinking, and it's first thing in the morning. It's Sunday morning. We're out there raising hell at this baseball field, and hitting the everybody. Oh, you suck! Fuck you! Suck, you suck!
But you traveled with the equipment.
Oh yeah. We had it in the we did silly shit. We had a grill. We had all kinds of fun stuff. It was Black Label was definitely a fun. Because it's what you make of it. You're out there all the time, so think of a traveling family picnic, every
traveling carnival show.
Yeah, well, that's what it was, man. We had grills, we had booze, we had coolers and
booze.
Crago would make like I'm gonna make us a pork loin, so we'd barbecue and have chicken. We had fun. And so we stop at this baseball field to hit some balls. We're smacking, and Zach's in there, and he's hitting them, and he's swearing, oh fucking no, I'm not out till I hit it over the fence, and it was, you're pitch it right, oh you suck, And this van comes up, like I said, it's probably a Sunday morning or something. This van comes pulling up, and all these well-dressed people look like they just got out of church, come walking up to the field. And
Mormons.
No, they were just, and they're like, "Hey, what are you guys?
Baptists.
What are you guys doing?" I think it was probably a Baptist church. They're like, "What are you guys doing?" Oh, dude, we're just fucking playing baseball. Zach. And I'm out in the outfield, and I got a video camera, and I'm like, going, "Oh shit, this ain't good." And I'm all the way out there, and I can hear them, and they're like, "This is our field. You can't play baseball." Like, what do you do? And they're like, well, dude, we're out on tour, we're touring, and we're just getting off the bus, and we're taking some time, letting off some steam here, having a few drinks, probably going to barbecue in a little bit, and they're like, what do you do? And he goes, dude, I'm the guitar player for fucking Ozzy Osbourne, and they're like, get off our field. And he's like, what? And he's like, dude, get off our field. We don't want you on our field. You're out there with Ozzy, blah blah blah. You're out, and we don't. Dude, we're just having some fun. Fucking out here, fucking smacking some fucking balls with the fucking bat ball. It's that. And there's like these church people, like church women, church men, like all, and they're like looking. It's like they're like, yeah, you gotta go. He goes, dude, we're just out here playing baseball. And they're like, well, Jesus doesn't want you to play baseball on our field. And he's like, what the fuck you talking about? Jesus fucking invented baseball. He told. And the woman, they're like, leave now. We're calling the cops. You don't know anything about Jesus. He's like, I have a 6-foot fucking crucifix of Jesus fucking Christ standing up on my doorway. Don't tell me I'm not down with JC. And they're like, we're calling the cops. And it's like, oh man, we gotta go. And it was just, I think we went and found like another baseball field, like a little league field somewhere where it was easy to hit it over the fence, and we cooked out and had hot dogs and pork loin. But it was just, it was always, we tried to have fun, but things just, happen.
So another story with Black Label that I remember was the story that how you got hired.
Oh yeah, it's just
and someone ended up getting body slammed in the lobby of a hotel room.
Oh yeah, I mean we had a lot.
Unpack that.
We had a lot of fun, man. And that's like one of the things. I got called out of the blue, to come. I fixed my own stuff at the house, and along the line, Nick's guitar got broken. I fixed it up or whatever. Zach played Nick's guitar, and he goes, dude, you think your guy? He goes, who fixes your guitars? He goes, oh, my buddy does. You think your buddy will fix mine? So I go, I can ask him. So I'm a single dad. I'm working at a TV station for like $8.50 an hour. Doubling out every day, trying to make.
I see nothing's changed.
Yeah, right. Trying to make ends meet. And I get this phone call. Hey, man, Zach wants to meet you. Wants you to fix his guitar. And I'm like, yeah, cool, man. What's he going to do? Send it to the house? And I'm like all excited. He's going to send this guy. Like, no, you got to go to WrestleMania and meet. And I'm like, dude, I don't have the money for WrestleMania.
This was in Philadelphia, right?
Yes, in Philly.
Okay.
So they said, no, dude, it's already taken care of. You know, WWE guys are on board. You know, just come enjoy the show. All right, going. So we go. And
wait a second, you drove all the way. You just like on a spur, just drove.
We had a couple days.
No money for gas.
I had no money to begin with at the time. And, we had a couple days to plan, you know. And it's just like, well, he wants to meet you there, and you can go do it. So it's all right, cool. We'll go do it. And we're driving, and we get there, you know, and it's like me, Nick, and Phil, and we get to Philadelphia, and I got my tools. I want to set up this guitar
bag.
Yeah, the whole thing is I'm broke. You know, and I can't afford to go spend like 4 days in Philly, you know, for waiting for this upcoming WWE thing, WWF thing. And I'm like, man, I'll go. I'll get a picture, an autograph, a couple guitar picks, fix his guitar, and you know, I'll find some way to get home. I'll hop on a bus and get home, you know, because you know, and so I go and I get there and we get to the lobby and meet him, shake his hand. He's like, hey, you the guy to fix Nick's guitar? I'm like, yeah. He goes, think you can fix? And he hands me the Grail. Now there's a big backstory that, you know, when I first became a stagehand, one of my first all day shows was Black Label, was Ozzy. And Zach he was young then, had to be like 90, 91, No More Tears. And maybe 92. It was 92. And No More Tears. And you know, all I wanted to do was see these guitars. I just wanted to look at Zach's guitars, you know. And I'm standing there and I'm looking at Zach's guitars. And they said that I got to back up a little bit. So they cut me before the guitars actually got there. You know, you're done, you know, blah blah blah. And Backline wasn't out yet. And I'm like, shit, all I want to do is see these guitars. And you could get in trouble if you're not, you know, and I'm new.
So you're saying as a stagehand, certain places you can go and certain places you can't go.
Yeah. And
you weren't there for the load-in.
I was there for the load-in, but
they wanted you to leave.
My part of the load-in was done. I did my time, and I have to go. But I really want to see these guitars. I want to see them. I don't want to touch them. I don't want to play them. I just want to look at them. And so I went and hid in the bathroom. You know, me and my buddy Frank did. Me and Frank are hiding in the bathroom because Frank was a big Ozzy fan, big Zakk Wylde fan, and we're hiding in the bathroom and like, you're in there for an hour, man. You know, 2 hours. You know, I think it's time yet. So he's like, yeah, you know. So we go walking out, and they're bringing out the guitars, and there they are, Zach's guitars, and they're beautiful, and we're standing there and we're just looking at them. And not saying anything, not touching them. We're not even close, probably about, 10 feet, but we're just admiring them. And somebody comes up and slaps us on the shoulder, and we jump, and it's Zach. He goes, dude, what the fuck's happened, man? How you guys today? And we took off running, out the door, man.
You started running?
Oh, yeah, we were gone. We should have been there. We were going to get fired, And it's like, oh, fuck, So, here it is, 8 years later, he's like handing it to me. And it's just like, yeah, I can fix this. I can make it play better than the other one. And he goes, all right. I said, I got my tools. Let's do it. I was ready to do it right there in the lobby of the Ritz-Carlton. And he's like, what are you doing? I got my tools. We're going to fix this thing up right now. I figured get in there, get out, get home, and I'm saving money. He goes, nah, dude, you guys been driving all day. Let's go to this. There's this pub down the street that I know that has good good lunch. We'll go down, we'll get some lunch, and you guys, just do it later. All right, cool. So we do it later. And
now you're broke, mind you.
Yeah, I'm broke, and I'm trying to, I don't have a water. I have a water, and so we get down, and I have like $100 on me or whatever, cash, and we get down to the bar and we start, eating, drinking, blah, blah. Next thing you know, it's 4 o'clock. And it's just like, wow, time flew. We've been drinking all day. It's just one of the things I could do back then was I was a drinker. I liked it. I wouldn't get sloppy. You know, I mean, I gave the illusion that I was in control and everything was good. You wouldn't see me falling down.
You never got drunk.
Yeah, and so, but you know, so I was enjoying myself, and he was all right. We got to go back. Got to go back. Yeah, we got to go back. Got to go check in. So we go back. Yeah, I'm always checking at the hotel. No, his wife's there. So we go back, and it's
he's checking in with the ward.
Yeah. So it's like 4:30 in the afternoon. He goes, "I'll see you in a half hour." I said, "All right, cool, man." I said, "I'll be back in a half hour." So I'm get my tools, come back and see you in the lobby in a half hour. Come back down to the I just met the guys. First day, like meeting them. You know what I mean? I got my tools. He goes, "The fuck are you doing?" I got my tools. You told me to come back in a half hour. I'm gonna say, No, we're going. There's this Irish pub down the street. It's got happy hour. Happy hour starts at 5. That's why I said I'll see you in a half hour. Let's go. All right, well, put the tools away. We don't. Yeah, we'll do it later. We'll fix the guitar later. So we go. Put the tools away. Go back. We go down to the Irish pub and we're drinking. Tear it up. Blah 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 blah. It's closing time. Got to go back to the Ritz, Back.
Meanwhile, you'd have the money to stay in the Ritz. You're just there.
Yeah, well, he's picking he's picking up the tabs on like the food and the drinks and stuff like that. We're staying down the street or whatever, a different hotel budget. Like all of us are pooling our money together, and we're raising hell in the Ritz, the bar's still open,
The lobby of the Ritz.
Oh, lobby bar. Yeah, the lobby bar's still open. So we're raising hell down there.
In the Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah, having a good time. In Philly. Having a great time, blah, blah, blah. And, he's playing the piano and that stuff. And they're like, sir.
That had to be a scene.
Kind of like.
That had to be a scene.
He's an excellent piano player. Oh, my God. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, they're playing piano and stuff like that. And like, yeah, you guys kind of got to tone it down a little bit. Yeah, okay, cool. And it's just like, all right, cool. Yeah, so we'll call it a night. Go blah, blah, blah. He goes, all right, I'll see you in the morning. Do you anybody want to go to the gym? It's like, yeah, no, I think we'll I'll see you in the morning. We'll get everything taken care of tomorrow. Cool. Show up the next day with my tools. I'm ready for that guitar. What are you doing? I'm ready for the guitar. No, there's this English pub down the thing with an English breakfast. We're going to go there. I've got my tools. Put your tools away. You don't need your tools. Go. Put the tools away. Come back. Go to the English pub. We have breakfast. Blah blah blah. Everything's great. Next thing you know, it's 4 o'clock. Got to go back. Go back. All right, I'll see you in a half hour. This is sounding like a pattern here. Half hour goes by. I brought my tools. What are you doing with your tools? You told me to bring. No, dude. The fucking guitar can wait. Fix it later. There's this microbrewery place down the street. It's new. It's really good. We got this microbrewery place, and same rinse and repeat. We're sitting there, and we get back to the Ritz-Carlton, and this dude stops us. And it's a big muscle-bound dude. And he goes, you guys shouldn't be here. And it's just like, he's like, dude, we got a room here. It's like, yeah, blah, blah. It turns out it's the guy, it's our contact for the WWE, Jim. And Jim's playing a joke.
Okay.
But we don't know. I mean, I've never met him. I'm new to all of it. I'm just a fly on the wall at this point, just trying to take it in and live this madness. And Jim likes to drink too. Jim likes to have a good time. So yeah. So next thing you know, we're all hanging out in the Ritz-Carlton lobby and building a wrestling ring and
wait, what?
Yeah. Rearranging the furniture and getting body slammed by somebody from the WWE. And it's fun, and Zach's playing the piano again. Everybody got their little intro music as they come into this Ritz-Carlton. Taking the couch cushions and just throwing them everywhere. And yeah, man, it turned into quite a night. And then Zach says to Jim, who just had like shoulder surgery or something, dude, pick me up and body slam me. And Jim's like, oh, man.
What?
Yeah, dude. He picks him up and he wants to body slam him. He wants body slammed.
He wants to be the one getting slammed.
Well, yeah, dude, because we all were. You got couch. We put the couch cushions on the floor, like, and who's going to stop us? We're not Black Label gear yet, but I've got my leather jacket, long hair. And, it's just like these guys don't look safe. They've got a room here, and nobody's really going to say anything to them, And so we're sitting there, and so he picks up Zach and he gets him on his shoulder, and he's like, no, dude, pick me all the way up and press me like above your head, like. And he's like, dude, I just had shoulder surgery. He goes, oh, come on, man, just do. So he goes to try to do it. His shoulder gives and drops Zach right on the piano, like the grand piano. And it's just like, oh, fuck. And he's like laying there, and it's just like, it's like, my career.
You still haven't done the
No, I still haven't done a guitar. I'm like, my career's over before it's even started. I touched it the one time when he handed it to me, and I'm just like, man, my job's done before I even start. I never got to do it. And I'm like, oh, great. He's like, he looks up and he opens his eyes. He's like, no, I mean all the way above your head. That was only like to here. I want it all the way up to there. And that's, and so that just, it went on from there. And there's little side stories that just.
Did he actually get slammed?
Yeah, he slammed them on the cushions, and everybody was fine. That's about when the hotel manager came over and said, "Yeah, guys got to kind of."
And what time would this be?
Oh, it's between 1 and 2 in the morning, somewhere around there. I mean, we're it's a weekend.
Like, you have to be in like La La Land right now. Like,
it was. I loved it. It was amazing, and these things just kept going on and on and on. And like we went to like WrestleMania, and we're sitting like ringside. The night before WrestleMania, like we meet Steve. We go to the party and meet Steve Austin, and The Rock and stuff like that. And it was just like me being a wrestling fan, young. It was great. I'm like sitting there. Oh, this is amazing. I'm meeting my wrestling heroes. This is fantastic. Blah blah blah. Oh, this is great. And then we go to the matches the next day, and we, of all things, and I ended up staying the entire time because I was having too much fun. But we go to the matches, and we're sitting ringside, and like when I mean ringside, I mean like third row, in the corner, and this is the greatest thing ever. And I just was at a party with like The Rock last night at Stone Cold Steve Austin and meeting all these guys. And it was, I watch these guys on TV. And again, I'm a country kid from Pennsylvania. I live out in the sticks. And yeah, granted, I'm a stagehand and I see these guys from afar. But now I'm sitting there having a beer with them and, and talking and stuff. And this was great, getting photos, like for my magazine photos and, that are going in magazines, like Metal Edge ran like a whole article. Dude, it was nuts. And it's just like, okay, this is fun. And I'm having fun. And we're watching, and Austin wins and, okay, fuck, I messed up because I didn't tell. This going to the bar shit every day happens every day. It was like, all right, we're going to go here. So like there was like 2 days, like the day before we went to the bar in the morning, dude, there's this American brew house down here that has, good breakfast, French toast, stuff like that. All right. And then you go in the afternoon. Okay. There's this German brew garden down at the other end of the street that has, Wiener schnitzels and blah, blah, blah. So you do that for.
It never ended.
Yeah. It was the same thing. And I still, like every day I would go, hey man, you want me to do that? No, don't do it. So the day of WrestleMania, we go to this Mexican restaurant in the morning, like for lunch, it's like lunch. And dude, they got Dos Equis. They've got, oh, this is great, blah, blah, blah. And I like tacos and shit like that. So everybody goes and they're eating tacos and stuff like that. And, I mean, but, we do that and then we have to go to WrestleMania. So we go back early to get ready for WrestleMania and we go. But one of the guys keeps farting. Because he had Mexican. It was like, it's in the car. It's like, come on, dude. Really? So it goes on and on and on. We're sitting like ringside and just fucking ripping gas. It's like, come on, dude, really? So it's like the whole time, man. And so we watch the matches, and this is again pre-Black Label. The album I was thinking wasn't even out yet. The first album, Sonic Brew, wasn't even out. This is the before the tour, for the first tour, and we had met Austin the night before, and we were drinking with him, having a good time, and we're sitting there, and he wins, and he's walking around the corner. You kind of see him smirk when he walks to our corner in the thing, because we've been drinking. We're like throwing stuff at him, and he looks down, he sees us, it was great. So we go to the Undertaker's party. Like there was like this after show party. I just remember the Undertaker being there, and it was great. And my God, in a matter of 4 days, my life has just taken a turn from I may never want to go back to TV. This is if this is what it's like every day, this is amazing. And so I'm like at the party. I'm at a party now with like my wrestling, the people I watch on wrestling, and I'm like, oh my God, they're all sitting here, and I'm rubbing elbows with, and we're sitting there talking, and, here comes Austin. He just wins the belt. He's coming over to talk to us and hang out, and it's just like, this is great. We're hanging out, we're sitting there talking to him. And mind you, I've never once touched this guitar yet, and I'm like thinking to myself, and I just remember thinking at that WrestleMania party that I'm thinking, when am I going to get this done? We leave tomorrow. I got, and that's what was predominantly on my mind that night. It went from I'm hanging out with these guys, but now I didn't do the job that I was supposed to come here to do, and I don't know what time if he has an early flight in the morning, or if when are we leaving? I'm screwed here. And I just remember in the middle of that thought, Austin walks over, and I had a bottle of Jack Daniels or whatever. We're sitting there drinking, and we're sitting there talking, and blah blah. And someone rips gas again, and it's like me, Zach, and Austin standing there, and it's like, dude. And Austin goes, "Damn, son, you stank." He's like talking to this guy, and Zach's like, "Dude, what the fuck?" And I'm like, "Oh, fuck this," because I didn't want fart smell in my fucking Jack Daniels. So I just like my party trick in college was chugging Jack Daniels like John Belushi did in Animal House. So I chug his bottle of Jack Daniels, and I'm standing there, and I just remember Austin said, "Damn, son, you can put away the whiskey." And I just remember Zach looking over and goes, "Dude, you want a job?" And that's how I got my job. I never once fixed that guitar.
It never got done?
No, I never touched it. He took it and flew home. He had to fly home the next day. He was flying off to wherever he was going, or going to, and the guitar went with him. And so I didn't see it till I went out to, he hired me, and I went out to Valencia to California like a month and a half later to start the tour. I didn't touch that guitar till I got there. And it was just like, all right. So
you got hired over a drunken behavior.
A drunken 4-day party thing.
Binge.
Yeah, it was because he was walking around, I was walking around, I was drinking just as much as he was. See, that was the thing though, man. I don't get hangovers. And a lot of even when I was in college, I don't get hangovers. You see all these other guys like, "Oh, I'll never do that again." I'm like, do what? And I'm like drinking and having a good time, and I'm not sloppy, and kids at home, don't be like me. Don't do the dumb things I've done, because it does catch up with you. But I'm smart enough, and it's a rarity now that I even go out and have one or two or five.
Well, let me ask you about traveling with these bands. So this is what I always didn't understand exactly, because you've been all over the world.
Yeah.
So it has to be almost surreal that, like, it looks like a band of hoodlums showing up. Everybody's there with long hair and leather and boots and coarse language, and you guys are doing what everyone else has to do: go through customs, go through the whole rigmarole of traveling. Right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
What is it like on the plane? Are you folks literally like the carnival show? I mean, is it people gawk?
A lot of times, it's weird, man. Sometimes they do. Sometimes you get. You got to realize this is all a lot of this is like pre 9/11. It wasn't so serious, once 9/11 came, you had to like tone it down. Like I remember going on like the planes with a full toolbox, with like knives and saws and hammers and shit like that, because I didn't want to put it under the plane. I wanted to make sure my tools were with me. And, so I'm like, but after 9/11 came, it all changed. But here was the thing. I was deathly afraid of flying.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, but dude, I was horrified of flying. And we had a friend who was a flight attendant here in Pittsburgh, and he would let me on the plane early so I could get a few drinks in me for free, and I'd be fine. So I'd go to the gate, they'd let me on, I'd start pounding those little bottles of Jack Daniels, and I'd take a couple home with you. So I had an arsenal. I don't even know what it would be. I had an abundance of booze. Yeah, like the little mini bottles. You'd open up my case and it'd be like, oh, well, look at him, he's stocked. It's like all neatly arranged. And so I'd be like getting tanked on the plane. So I would sleep the entire time from Pittsburgh to L.A. And I was fine. And I always tell people, like, well, dude, you probably sit in first class flying with all these bands. Nope. If they got me a ticket up front, I would sit I want the very last seat. Back by the toilet, it stinks back there. I want the very last seat in the plane. Why, Eric? Why would I want the last seat in the plane? Because when you see a plane crash, the only thing you see is the tail. Everything else is
really. That's your reason?
Oh, dude, I'm nuts, and that's exactly what my reasoning was. I'm just sitting the tail because that's the only thing. Chances are that all those people up in front are hitting and crushed, and it's just like, well, there's a couple more seats, and it all crushes, and just falls So you're safe in the back, and that was my reasoning. That's how I thought. Then guess what? One day, because I flew so much, I got upgraded to first class. Oh my God! Yeah, what? Sit back with the common folk? Oh no! How much is an upgrade?
That ruined you for life.
Oh,
didn't
it ruined me for life, man. I'm like, what? The booze are free? Oh my God! In first class. So yeah, so I went from the last row in the plane to do you have a bulkhead available in first class? Because I'll take that. And so, but it's like a weird dynamic that has happened to me over the years on flying. But I remember at one point I would sit there, and if I didn't fall asleep, I would just make the people uncomfortable around me going, we're going down today, right?
Oh.
We're going to go down. We're flying through a storm. I looked ahead of time. There's storms all over the Midwest. We're going down. And I just remember, you go through the storms, and I'd be sitting there shaking. It got to the point where the guy that I would fly with wouldn't sit with me. He would like, where are you sitting? Yeah. All right. And then I get on the plane. He wasn't my seat partner. He was somewhere else. He's like, I ain't sitting there no more. I am not sitting with you. And then one day he got stuck with me, and we were coming out of Newark or something like that, and we hit these storms. And I just remember the storms that were bad, and it was turbulence, and the plane just dropped like the one that hit like an air pocket where there was nothing there, and the plane just dropped like a couple hundred feet instantly. And the doors are opening, and like the luggage things, and shit's flying everywhere. People are screaming. I'm just looking at them, just laughing. At that point, I didn't care. I was. And she's like, "I'm never sitting with you again, ever. I am not sitting with you again." So he never did. But
was there one time where you didn't want to get on the plane?
Oh yeah,
Zach had to talk to you.
Yeah. See, me and Zach were walking. It was my first flight to Japan. Figure that's how long a flight from LA to Japan. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I can't get on the plane. I cannot get on this flight. And we're sitting there in the bar drinking. He goes, come with me. And we just pick up our beers and just start walking and drinking through the airport. And he goes, everything's going to be okay. He was great. Everything's going to be okay. He goes, let me ask you this. Do you think the pilot has a family? Yeah. Do you think he wants a crash? No. Do you think he wants to go back and see his family? I'm like, yeah. He goes, do you think he's going to do the best he can to get us there? I'm like, yeah. He goes, get the fuck on the plane. So we're sitting there drinking. I just remember we're drinking. We're sitting there drinking, and these two cops come up and go, what are you guys doing? He goes, trying to get him on the plane, talk him into going on the car. He goes, no, because we're walking around the airport with our beers. He goes, what are you walking around with beers for? He goes, he's got to get rid of those. He goes, what? He goes, the beers, you can't drink outside the round. You can't just walk around an airport drinking beer. You got to get rid of it. Get rid of it now.
This is in LAX.
Yeah, he goes, all right. Pounds it, We both sitting there pounding our beer, and the cops are like looking at it. This is, again, pre 9/11. They were a little bit more, if you watch the movie Airplane, it's a little more lax like that, It's just like nobody, you're not sitting around but
Did you ever get sick on a plane?
I've been sick on a plane. I've been sick on a plane twice.
Okay.
And here's the thing. Remember, Mr. Germaphobe. I don't touch anything. At the time, I didn't touch anything on a plane or public restrooms. I'll hold it for days. On a bus, I can wait. I'll tie it in a knot. I tried that the other day and it didn't work. It actually hurt pretty bad tying it in a knot. But I'll do whatever I can to avoid a public restroom, an airport restroom, an airplane restroom. I'm just, they used to laugh. I used to cover myself. My work box was like 5 tools. It's like it's giant work box, and then like shelves of like hand sanitizer. Yeah, even that one. Yeah, it's filled with and because I was a germaphobe, man. I've been around the world, and I'm just like, oh man, what kind of germs are here? And I know where I can go with this. So there's tons of stuff, and so I just do not dig touching an airplane bathroom, whatever. But I have been sick. There was this one time, and I'll do these in order. So you're going to get a story before you're going to get the getting sick on the plane thing. We were out with Megadeth, and we were doing this world tour, and Dave fires his tech in Australia. All right. So we had like Australia, India, some other place, Moscow. So we were going from like India to Moscow. That was it. We ended up after Moscow, we were in the UK. So he fires his tech, and the management thinks, look, we can't get another tech out there. It'd be great if we just hire somebody local. So they call up whoever they call up, who's the best guitar tech you got in India? So they give me and I love this guy. I wish I had contact with him still to this day because, dude, he was great. His name was Raj. And man, I
of course it's Raj.
So anybody who's ever watched the Eric McKenna podcast before knows the Raj story. But I'm in a good mood. I'm going to tell it right now. So they hire Raj. Now the thing is, this is Megadeth, and they hire somebody new from Mustaine, who, if you look it up on the internet, Dave Mustaine fires his tech on the internet.
I got to piss.
All right.
No, I don't want to break. No. Right where you left off. Holy shit, dude. you're done with this one, don't forget to transition into throwing up in your food.
That's what it is. It's
the same thing?
No, that's why I did this one first. I did it. That's why I said I'm doing it in chronological order.
That's fine.
All right.
So Mustaine fires his tech on a regular basis.
Yeah. So yeah, it was. If you look it up on the internet, it's like Dave Mustaine fires his tech on Periscope, and it's like the greatest thing because he can't turn the thing off, and he's mad. He's pounding his phone with his finger after he fires this guy. So the thing is, Mustaine fires his tech, but there's nobody to replace him, and we're headed to India, and I'm like, all right,
that could be a problem.
It could be a problem because what's going to happen because there's punches that have to happen. There's all these little things.
Explain what a punch is.
Tone changes in the song.
So instead of the artist hitting a pedal on their own, you know where the spot is, and you got to hit it manually.
Yeah, the text manually do this. So I've got a cheat sheet in front of me and a stopwatch. That's how I used to do it because, I could do Chris Broderick's or Kiko's. I learned those. But like for Mustaine, when I went over to do Mustaine, I didn't know him, and there was like a cheat sheet that had been made years ago, but these things change. So guess who gets to do it? Well, the new tech. That's right. We hired a new tech in every country. We're going to get a new tech, a new local guy. So they get and I love, like I said, I love Raj. They get Raj in here. But here's the thing. Raj don't know the punches. Raj don't know, Raj does, Mustaine likes his stuff a certain way. Yeah, you can change the strings on a guitar, but when you're dealing with somebody as legendary and particular as Mustaine is, he likes his stuff a certain way and expects it that way every day. So you just can't put somebody new in and say, here you go.
Well, so back up. How did you describe the meeting of Raj for the first time?
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. And so I feel really bad for this guy coming in because he's going to get eaten alive, just like the last guy that just got fired did. He's going to get eaten alive. And I'm like, man, this guy's got to do. He doesn't know this stuff. He doesn't know anything. And all he can really do without getting into it too much is hand off guitars. Guess who got to do all the work for the other techs? Me. Because you're the only one that knows how he likes it. You're the only one that knows how the punches are. You're the only one that knows where the gear goes. You're the only one that knows how the pack goes. You're the only one that I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I'm like, am I getting a pay bump? At this point, I'd been there long enough that, I can ask you, no, we got a tech for him. You got a tech for him, but I'm the one doing all the work. Yes. So I meet Raj. I love Raj. Dude, Raj, if you see this video, call me. Because, dude, this guy was great. I mean, I've got like one picture of him somewhere, like me and him, and we're just smiling. We're having a blast. Yeah, but dude, it was great. And so we're in India. These cats, you go in like to these load-ins, and they're in 3-piece suits. You know what I mean? They're dressed to impress, because it's a job. It's
impressive.
Well, I mean, they take, remember like when you used to, like back in the 70s, you'd see like all these things, people are dressing up to get on an airplane. Well, that's kind of what these are. They're there. They don't care. They're doing manual labor, but they're going to look their damn best, doing it. And it's great. And I'm watching them, like, they don't even have ramps over there. They've got 50, 60 guys standing around your gear lifting it on that probably weighs about 5,000 pounds. Or we don't have a forklift, so we're just going to. And the fucking stage is made out of bamboo. Did I mention that? It's like bamboo, very, very strong, very strong, stronger than steel. Yeah, okay, yeah. Fucking, I got fucking. There's bamboo and chicken wire holding shit together. Oh, very, very strong. Very strong. 2 combinations. Bamboo, chicken wire. My dad used to think like duct tape fixed everything. These guys think that bamboo and chicken wire. And I'm sitting there going, okay. And I'm standing there because, I'm like, la, da, 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 da. I've been to India before. But, so I kind of knew what to expect. But I'm like, bamboo, chicken wire, 60 guys lifting 5,000. And they lift it. And they put it on the stage. And I'm like, there's no way I'm standing on that stage. There's bamboo holding it up. And they put it on and it's like, wheeling the right across. It's holding it up. It's bamboo and chicken wire, baling wire, chicken wire. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is great, yeah. And I just remember watching my bass rack come off, and I'm like, hey, man, be careful with that. That's my down it goes. And this thing, the bass rack weighed about 300 pounds. It left a crater in the ground. I'm like, and here's me, yeah. Nobody got hurt, right? Okay, you guys dropped my and you could take my bass rack. Like, literally, if I could have got those, 60 guys to pick it up and shake it, it would sound like a can of peanuts. It hit, and figured these are like big transformers in these harky things. It sounded like a can of peanuts when I took that amp out of there and just shook it. I was like waiting for a snake to pop out of it. Surprise. It's like, oh, great, yeah, surprise. I'll be surprised if it works. And it didn't. It ripped everything off and here I am. All these years later, king of spares. So I have a spare for my spares. And, of course, I got to dig out the spare. But I'm praying because I've only got one thing that works, and it's this one spare that was in a different case. Remember, I have spares for my spares for my spares when I go on the road. And they say, Fred, why is your shit so heavy? I don't know. I'm prepared. So, king of spares. Remember this, because you kids at home thinking about becoming a guitar tech, I'll help you. Don't. Stay in school. Don't do drugs.
Stay in school.
But you don't want to become a guitar tech. Nobody does. But if you do, always carry spares. Lots of them. That's an old tip from Uncle Fred here, huh? So anyway, I've got all these spares, and I'm like, all right. It'll be fine. What's the worst that could happen? That's the other Fredism. What's the worst that could happen? It's me. Come on, trust me. So I got this. I put the other thing in there, and I'm sitting there, and I meet Raj. Raj is awesome. Raj, dark hair, little mustache, brown eye, fucking ready to take on the world. And suppose he's like the best tech in India, and he was. I mean, he was good. But. Again, Mustaine wants things a particular way, and I'm not throwing this kid to the wolves. So we're sitting there, and I do all the stringing for him. And best he can do is just hang it away. And we're sitting there, and
it's hot, right?
It's hot. It's hot.
India,
it's
right?
hot. Yeah, it's India, man.
Think like rubber?
What's that?
It smell like rubber?
No, they burn everything over there, man. So it's like a haze. It's always like a haze, going on. And I'm like, and it burns your eyes, this haze, because everything's burning. I'm like, what the fuck, man? And I'm like, it's hot. I'm like, where's my waters at? Because it's getting close to showtime. And I'm like, Raj, have you seen the waters anywhere? And he's like, yes, Mr. Fred. Oh, the people were out there, and it was so hot, and I'm sitting there. And
there's a crowd out there.
Oh, there's a crowd, yeah, because it's a festival. Well, not like a festival, but it's like a big deal that Megadeth. It's an outdoor thing. Mr. Fred. Yes, I was sitting here quenching my thirst with some ice-cold water, and a fan looks up. He says, please, it is so hot out here, and the dust is burning my eyes. He says, please.
There's thousands of people there.
Yeah, there's all kinds of people.
He picks one person.
Well, no. Someone looks up, and we got cases of water, So he gets out of here. He goes, here you go. And then the person next to him says, could I have some water too, please? So he gives them a water. Yeah. He passed out all the water. I've got no water on stage. Now, mind you, you're in India. You don't want to really be drinking the water in India. You want bottled water. So I'm like, fuck, I'm out of water. Are you angry? Nope. Not angry. It's just kind of like it's just an little inconvenience. You just got to run and get some more water. I'll be right back. I'll be right back with the water. So I come back, and I'm like, all right. Yeah, where the fuck are the towels? Mr. Fred. He said, oh, my face is so dirty. So I passed the towel. I gave him a towel. The next thing you know, it's dirty. I gave this guy. I'm like, oh, you gave away the towels. Are you angry? No, not angry. Not angry, Russ. So I run off and I get more towels. Everything's good. All right, it's cool. Are you angry with me? No. Here you go. We just want to do this. So I have to do all the string changing. I have to give him the guitars when he plays. I'll tell you when to hand him the guitar. I'll show you how to do it and blah, blah, blah. Everything, he does great. He hands off the guitar great. But again, it's me doing the work, me doing the punches, me stressing, me doing the stage shit, me getting the towels, me getting the water, blah, 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 blah. Everything's great. And this goes on for, a couple days. And I go in and I have just enough stuff to because we split up my rigs. So one rig went to Russia. One rig, this rig will go to the UK after we're done. But you can't, it's not like you're going to go down to like Guitar Center Bombay, you know what I mean? And get a guitar. They make guitars there, but it's not like you're going to really find a Guitar Center like,
Right.
it's so, you have to pack ahead of time. Again, spares for spares for spares. So I'm sitting there and I go the next day and I sitting there and it's the third day, and I'm like, what the hell, man? I shouldn't be out of strings. I don't have strings. Mr. Fred. A fan says, oh, Megadeth is my favorite band. Perhaps maybe a souvenir from the... And I'm like, did you give him a pick? Oh, no. You said not to give away the picks because you just had very few. I gave him some strings. I'm like, you gave him? All right, cool, man. Some used strings. So what? Blah, blah, blah. And then the guy next to him says, oh, please, I love the Megadeths too. Could you please get a souvenir for me as well so I can remember this day always. I'm like, okay. And you gave him some strings? Yep. And let me guess here. The guy next to him asked for something too. Yes, he did. And you gave him some strings. And I'm going to just go wild and say this maybe out there, just throwing it out there. The guy beside him asked for something, and you gave him strings too? Yes. So let me get this right. You've given away all my strings. Yes. I thought there may be more, but there was not. So, because other people had asked, I'm like, wait, you've given away everything. All my spares are gone.
So, wait, where was the mentality? He thought he could just give your stuff away.
Well, no, because they're good people, man. It's just, and I do it, but I if somebody asks me, I'm a sucker. I've got picks, and then I'll say, I don't have any more, and then I'll walk back out and slip you some or whatever. But that's just it, man. Because you want people to have.
I get that. I get all of that. But I'm saying, like, he gave away. He's new on the job. He just gave away shit.
Well, you don't because he doesn't think about it. It's fun to make people happy, and that's what he
on
was.
Someone else's dime, especially.
Well, he was very very given, and stuff like that, and it's just. It was all right. I don't mind because I do it too, but I know what I can. You see, he just was, giving it away. And so again, stuff like that, I try because he sees me making people happy, because I'm like, here you go, blah, blah, blah. So it was okay, but I'm like, okay, king of spares. I keep, just like I kept that bass head separate, I've got some extra strings separate. This will get me through UK. This will be fun. And I'm like, all right, cool. And show goes off. Everything's great. And there's the telling these stories. There's like so many backstories.
What about the electricity? Didn't electricity fail, or is the plug-in?
Yeah. They had like a. I'm standing out in this field. This is when I'm going back for the towels. I'm standing in this field and I'm like looking, going, it's like dark. And I see like something like jumping in the okay. So here's the thing. It's like a half mile to walk back to where our dressing room production office. And I'm walking through this field, and I'm like going, what the fuck is that? And there's something white jumping it's dark. And something white jumping in the field. What the? Man, there's sparks. There's like a fire or something going on out there. And I go walking out there. They have like the power cables, and granted, it's 220 or whatever over there. So it's it'll throw you. It won't grab. Like 110 will grab. If you touch a 110, it'll grab you and kill you. You touch 220 or more, it's going to blow your ass across the lawn, but it ain't going to kill you. It's just going to give you a big jolt, And I'm like, what the fuck? So I go walking, and I look, and in the middle of a mud puddle is like cables, and they're spliced together and wrapped with saran wrap. Where the fuck they got saran wrap in India? I have no idea, because you know what? Tapes around, but they wrapped it with like clear plastic, and it's like saran wrap, and it's getting it, and it's sparking. It's, yeah, and it's like, I'm like, what should I do here? Should I be responsible, or do I need my towels and water? Obviously, it's not going to the stage. It's probably going to production office, so I'm safe here. I'm just going to walk and say, casually, but hey, look, there's a fire going on outside. You're probably going to lose power here anytime if your light. That's probably why the lights are flickering. But I'm just saying, don't touch it. It won't kill you, but it'll throw you across the yard, and it's dark. You can find it by just following the sparks out there. And so I go back, But yeah, so that was the electricity thing with that one. So the show goes off, everything's great, and like literally for some reason, I don't know, we had an extra day in Calcutta. And I'm like, okay, cool. One of the other funny subplots to this.
In Calcutta, that's where you were.
Calcutta, yeah. So we
one of the most poorest places in the world?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. So we're sitting there.
I thought you were in Delhi.
I was there. We were in Delhi as well. So I thought it was Calcutta. Maybe who knows? It's been so long. But I've been to the north, south, east, and west. I tell people, and I think this is even how I described it on the last podcast, because it's how I tell the story. I was in a place somewhere up by Nepal that that if you stopped on the long side of the road to take a piss, a tiger would jump out and eat you. And I'm like sitting there going, this is just crazy. This whole thing's just crazy. And we played, it was like Megadeth. And we played this like 3-day religious festival. Like one day was like Hindu day. One day was like Muslim day. And one day was like Christian day. Guess what Megadeth got? Megadeth got Muslim day. And it was amazing to see these three different culture, and they're all coming together, playing and enjoying themselves. And it was great. And I just remember about that day is I could hear, every couple seconds there was like a something going on outside my window. I look out there, and this guy's cutting fish heads, like right outside my window with like a hatchet and fish. He's just sitting there on a log and he's tossing them, And I'm like, this is great. Remind me not to eat here, And but it was great. So that was up north, and that and it was beautiful. The mountains were beautiful. Everything was awesome. And Raj, and I'm a history nut, and Raj just telling me like history of things. So it was great, And but we get to that last show. He goes, Mr. Fred. It was a pleasure working with you. I must take you to dinner. And I'm like, to dinner? I said, Raj, I'm okay with, you don't have to take me to dinner. I said, the restaurant's in a hotel. It was like a French restaurant, an American restaurant,
and the food's safe there.
Yeah. Because when you're in a restaurant, if you're in a hotel, it's like kind of like, they've got the water filters. I still won't drink anything but bottled water. Like when I'm out of the country. And it goes for just about anywhere out of the country. I'll drink a beer because that the beer's clean, or a Coke, or if it's bottled water, everything's fine. But I'm like, everything's fine. He goes, oh, you're in my country. He goes, I want to show you around. I'm like, nah, man. He goes, well, this is my hometown. I'll show you around. Man, you don't have to. The restaurants are so expensive. He goes, oh no. I know this place in town that is wonderful. And he's like, I'm like, they say don't leave the hotel. We've got a flight, later on, tonight or whatever. Oh, please, I would love to take you and show you my city. All right, let's do it. I said, which restaurant do you want to go? He goes, it's outside the gates. Like over in India, like they're like everything's gated off, like little communities. And if you're in a nice hotel, don't leave the gate. If you're over there, don't leave the gate. Talking to an Indian guy on the plane, oh no, do not drink water, do not eat leafy vegetables. Anything that retains water will cause you great sickness. He goes, I've been in. I grew up in India. He goes, I've been away for 30 years. He goes, I've become a doctor in the U.S. He goes, I stayed in the U.S. He goes, but I do not. He goes, when I go back, he goes, do not drink any leafy vegetables, anything that's with soil, anything. He goes, do not leave your gate. All right. It's easy enough for me. I'm a germaphobe. I really don't want to go out anywhere dirty. Not saying it's dirty, but I'm fine. Yeah, thanks for the advice, Doc. Mr. Fred, we will go to a restaurant in the town. I will show you the city. You're going to show me the city. Yes. Well, Raj, things cost so much. But they pay me very handsomely. They pay you very handsomely. What do they give you? 100, 200 rupees? No. They pay me 400 American dollars. For the week? What? No, that's crazy, man. It's not enough money. No, a day. A day? Wait, what? They're paying you more than they're paying me, and I'm doing all the work? That's what they do, Well, yes, you are going to take me to dinner, and you're going to take me wherever you want. Great. I know a great place. So we leave.
Now you're outside of the gate.
We walk outside of the gate. Sir, you should probably not want to go outside the gate. No. I'm with my buddy. We're going to go outside the gate. Yeah, it's a gauntlet. As soon as you leave that gate, every smell, every sense in your body is activated. Your sense of smell, your sense of touch, your sense of hearing. It's chaos. It's noise. It's a language you don't know. And it's people running up to you, grabbing you, germaphobe, begging for money. I guess kids
are cows just walking amongst
cows everywhere. You gotta watch cow shit. Fucking, it backs traffic up. If a cow lays down in the street, it's backing traffic up for miles. But you know what? It's somebody's relative from a past life. You're gonna leave that there. Again, I'm just gonna live. Whenever he feels like getting up, he can get up. And I say this too. And I know I'm jumping around on this story. I was almost run over by a cow on a bridge. It's like there's nowhere for me to go. I'm walking across this walking bridge, and this cow with these big old horns comes running around the corner, and he's running across the bridge. Why can't you be like a cow here in America where you have nowhere to go? All your friends are laying in the street, but this one singles me out as I'm halfway across this footbridge, and he's going to run down the bridge. And I'm thinking, do I want to turn around and run back? No, I'll never make it. And I just stepped to the side, and this cow ran past me. I mean, he wasn't coming after me. I knew he wasn't going to mug me or rob me or anything because it's a cow. But I really didn't feel like getting run over.
A bull?
It had horns. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's a cow with horns, and he came running past me, and I'm like, you got to be kidding! Because where am I going to go? I'm not going to make it to the end of the bridge. But if I just stand still, he's going to run past me. So I stood still. It wasn't like I was wearing a red shirt or anything like Toro, No, I just was like, fuck it. Here he goes. He ran past other people. He's going to run past. I'm like, you got fucking kidding me. So this thing runs past me. I'm like, all right, cool. So I shit you not. I'm walking. And I appreciate all cultures. And I'm not by any means making fun of anybody, or if I make a voice, I'm not, I'm not mocking anybody. It's just, that's how the story goes. And that's how I hear it in my head. But I remember sitting, I'm thinking, this is one of the most beautiful scenes I ever saw. And it was like an elderly, 70s, 80s Indian couple sitting on a beautiful park bench, holding hands, looking in each other's eyes, and they're sitting there, and I think, this is so lovely. And then some dude walks up and takes a piss right at the end of the bed. He could have went anywhere. Whips his dick on, and starts taking a piss at the end of the bed, and they're just sitting there like meditating, looking in each other's eyes, and this guy's like standing there peeing, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And it's just like, holy
shit in the streets, right?
Oh yeah, dude. I've only seen it in other one other place. I've seen it twice in India. I've seen it, twice in
What do you now?
San
Explain what you mean.
It's the stop, drop, squat, plot, fucking, and you keep walking. It's like people just walk, drop, shit, and go. And it's just like that's why they wear those dresses and shit. And I saw it in India twice. And like people will be walking in front of you. You're like walking, and if somebody squats in front of you, they're not picking up change off the ground. That's for damn sure. They're taking a shit, so you got to like watch out for like. And I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. You have absolutely. I'm like, holy hell! Did you just see that? And then I couldn't.
Kind of like San Francisco.
Well, that's why I said that's the other place. It was in San Francisco. It was the other place that I've ever seen it. So I'm like walking. I'm in Guitar Center, San Francisco. I'm like looking for, and I'm like walking. And it's like, oh, look, Haight Ashbury. Oh, my God, this woman just fell in front of me. Oh, she stands back up. There's a pile of shit. I'm like, oh, my God. Yeah, she's like, and then, like she would go up like a little more. And then it was like she like dropping little Hershey's Kisses up the street. I mean, I guess maybe it all didn't come out at once. But I'm like, you got to be kidding. So I'm like zigzagging, like cones on an obstacle course. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man. But that was like the only two places. So that was, Mr. Germaphobe. I leave.
So you're walking. He has you on foot.
I'm on foot. Yeah, we're on foot. I leave the confines. And the little kids.
This is like in the afternoon?
This is like Slumdog Millionaire. No, this is like 6, 7 o'clock at night.
Okay. And
we've got a late night flight or something like that. We're getting ready to go to. So this is like one of these last little things. And it's like, oh, please. Okay, she's not coming with us. We're going to Russia. Oh, please. Yeah, you can take me. We get out there. It's like Slumdog Millionaire. You got these little kids. Like one's got an eye missing. One's like, one's got like, like he's missing, like, it's just like, but they're begging. They're like, please, please, please. And they're like holding out their hands. Like, it's just like, what the fuck? And Raj goes, shoo. Get away, you beggars! It's like we're trying to get on the streets. Get away! And it's just like they're pulling on your clothes, and you're feeling bad. You're like reaching for stuff for money, but you don't have any money. Yeah, it's just fucking, you just got guitar picks throwing those out, But and it's just like you feel bad. It's like fuck, man, all these poor kids, blah blah. So you go up, you're on a corner, and I'm like, how far is this place? He goes, oh, it's close. It's close. We stop in this corner, and it's like they've got like the open markets. And it's like, oh no, they're sitting there talking to him, and it's like, I don't understand. They're trying to haggle you to buy a T-shirt. T-shirts and jewelry and stuff like that, and you just tell you like pick up and look, oh, that's very nice, but your hand's green already, it's not real gold, shit like that. It's like, wow, it says, so but it's like T-shirts, and he's like, no, get away, we do not want any. So we're sitting there, we can't find this place. And so he stops and asks the guys, like, if you buy a T-shirt, I'll tell you where it's at. It's like, the guy doesn't know where the fuck it's at, but he just wants to sell his T-shirt. And so we're lost. I think it's down this way.
You're lost.
Oh, yeah. So we start down this alley, and I think this is how I always describe it. I was the first white guy to walk down that alley since the British left. You know what I mean? It's like, it's 100 years or whatever. Yeah, I'm the first guy to watch. And people are like, you could hear, if they had record players, you could hear their needles scratch. In my head, that's what I'm hearing. And people are like looking at me going, what the fuck is that guy doing here, I felt very discriminated against. No. And so we finally find this place. And he goes, this is the place. It's the place. Doesn't even have a front door. Yes, but it's very good. All right, very good. So we go in, not a soul in the place. I'm like, all right. Yes, they're upstairs sleeping. They're sleeping. Yeah. Yeah. So evidently the place had already closed down. But he had told them that he was bringing a very famous rock star from America. So they come down. These guys come down from upstairs. And it was like, they were dressed like, again, dressed for success, dressed to impress. And, they like suits and tuxes or whatever, and they're down there to serve. And it was great, and I'm sitting there, and there's like a clock on the wall, and I'm looking, and it's a little, you could tell it's just a mom and pop restaurant. It's probably the family, and they work there and stuff like that. And there's a kitchen, but they'd already gone to bed because we were late, and it's just like, all right. So he goes out, they come down, and they're all sitting there and not making fun, But, they sit there and they want your approval, and they've got their hands, they're waiting.
They shake their head.
Their heads are, they want, it's just like, all right, cool. And so I eat meat. Guess what they don't eat over there? Beef. That's somebody's aunt, somebody's uncle, somebody's cow. Uncle Conrad and Ginny are out there and running me down on a bridge, you know what I mean? And I'm like, one of them sitting out in traffic out there. It's we would have been here sooner, but
you don't want to be the ugly American.
I don't want to be. That's you know the story, because that's how I do not want to be the ugly American. You know what I mean? I sit there and I embrace other cultures. I really do. I mean, I love seeing this stuff, and I'll go and I'll try to eat. When it's smart. I go off the beaten path. And
sound like you're really off the beaten path here.
I'm like I said, I was if that place was it was a maze, you know what I mean? Because I would have never made it back out of there. And I'm just like, oh God, because there's like all these turns, like these back alley shanty shack kind of things put together, and I'm like, I'll never get if anything happens to him, I'm never getting out of here. And so we go, we're in the restaurant, and and so I'm thinking. And he's a vegetarian, and I'm like, "Fuck!"
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah. He doesn't hurt animal, and I'm like, "You got chicken?" And they're like, "He's like, yes, they have."
Because the meat's supposed to be safe, right?
Yeah. Well, they cook it. You know what I mean? It's cooked.
You hope.
Yeah. So chicken tikka marsala or whatever, and I don't know. It just chicken's great. So I'm like. Anything else? No, just the chicken. How about some onions? Onions, love onions. Yeah, get some roasted onions. Yeah, sure. I'll take roasted onions, and we have some potatoes. Yeah, all right. Potatoes, chicken, onions. Fine with me. That'll be good. That's it. Nothing else. We're sitting there, we're talking, and he did a great job for me. And I told him, I said, look, man, I really appreciate it. He goes, oh, you're mad. I'm like, nah, I'm not mad at all, man. I would, but I had a great time, and I appreciate you showing me around and this, that, and the other thing. And, first course comes, and it's potatoes and onions. I'm like, oh, this is great. They're roasted potatoes. They're great. The onions, a little, sauteed or whatever, but, it was delicious. Oh my God, it's spiced perfect. This is a great restaurant. This is fantastic. Can't wait for my chicken to get here. I'm sitting there eating it, and I'm like, la da 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 da. We're talking, we're having a good time, and out of the corner of my eye, I see something catches my eye and across the room, and I'm like, and I'm sitting there talking, and some. Diverting my attention, and out of this little water pipe hole, 3-inch water pipe hole, comes his nose, and this rat the size of a small dog pops out. Its head popped out, and I thought, oh my God, there's a cute little mouse. It pops out. It's the size. It's the size of my beagle. It's the size of my basset hound, and I'm like, and it's running around the floor. I shit you not. It's running around the floor to somebody, and it runs underneath our table, and I'm like, holy shit, look at the size of that rat. He goes, oh, that's a baby. I'm like, a baby. Now, here's the thing with this. I can look up and into the kitchen, and I see this rat jump up on a table, and it starts eating something. And I'm like, the fuck? And I see a guy come by, and he shoos the rat. He picks up 2 plates. And he comes and he puts the plates down in front of us. And on my plate of chicken and sauce and potatoes and whatever, there's a rat footprint and a tail drag thing through there. And I'm looking going, my mouth is just, I'm like, motherfucker, rat just ran across my plate. And I look up and there's 8 guys going, waiting for my approval. What am I not, Eric? The ugly
American.
And I said, just eat it. There's places in Pittsburgh that have rats that run through there. You've seen it before. You've seen cockroaches in restaurants. You worked in restaurants all your life. You know they're there. Just eat it. So with everybody sitting there with their hands clasped, I take a bite of my chicken. It was delicious. So I just take a stick that they give you to eat with, and yeah, can I have a fork? Yeah, just all right. A leaf, maybe. And I like partition off the rat trail that's tail, so I know not to eat that side because that's where the rat tail and foot was. So I'm sitting, and it's delicious, and we're sitting there talking. And my stomach gurgles. Didn't eat anything. They brought me bottled water. No ice. I'm fine. My imagination. Sitting there eating my chicken, talking, having a good conversation. I'm enjoying my time. Enjoying the people. Thankful for the people that got up out of bed to make us dinner. Everything's great.
Minus the rat, of course.
Minus the rat. And they come back, and Raj says, hey, they want to make you Calcutta special drink. Calcutta special drink, what's that? In honor of you being here, because I told them you're a big American rock star. In honor of you being here, I said, what is it? And he's like, it's like water, lemon, salt, pepper. Oh, all right. It's like a margarita or a Bloody Mary without the alcohol. Yeah, sure, man. I'll take Calcutta's special drink, and because they wouldn't have a toast to you. All right, cool. This is great. So I'm sitting there eating, stomach's gurgling. Probably gonna get bad here in a little bit. But Eric, I could smell that water from 20 feet away. They're coming with a tray of drinks. Now, my nose is taken, a lot of abuse, a lot of smells over the years. I mean, this place smells like burnt forest because everything's burning over there. Yeah, it's the only thing that still works on me, and I could smell this water a mile away.
In the cup, the water. The drink.
It's a clear glass. Yeah, it's water, lemon.
Was the water dirty? Was it brown? Was it yellow? What was it?
Looked like you remember Sea Monkeys when we were kids? Those magazines like old comic books, like you got sea monkeys in them, and it's like, oh, Major Friend. And what they were like little shrimps that like swam around, and they always died. They didn't look like the picture. They were just it was like sea monkey. Yeah, that's what they brought. It looked like there was a twig and leaf. Part of a leaf they got this water straight out of the Ganges or whatever river's there. All right. I'm being dead serious. And I'm like looking at this and I'm like, there's like shit floating in it. There's like a stick and a leaf and and I'm like going, and then I look up and there's 8 guys holding a glass, shaking their heads, holding their, ready to have a toast. And he's like, this is a toast for you to in your time here, and they thank you for coming. And I'm like, thank you guys too. Again, I'm looking at this going, fucking can't do it. And I look at these innocent guys, and that's just exactly how people think. Oh, no, this is how I think. I mean, I think about that these people did, and I'm like, am I going to be the ugly American? And the little angel here is going, yes, or the devil's going, no, yes, you are. Yes, you are. The angel's going, no, don't be the ugly American. And I'm like looking, going, oh, fuck. And I take and I sip it. And the devil goes, you're an idiot. He's like sitting there like, you're a fucking idiot. And I'm like, instantly, That shit, I mean, it smelled like sulfur. Dude, I'm like, oh my God. Instantly, it wasn't even. I was thinking about just holding it in my mouth and spitting out, and they're going, drinking, and they're like, all happy and shit. And I'm going, oh, and I've swallowed it, and I'm like, oh, you're gonna regret it. And the devil's going, idiot.
Well, how much did you drink?
I sipped it. I make no mistake. It touched my lips, and some of the contents went down to my stomach, and that's all it took. That's all it took. It was like an instant. It's like when you dump, like you see those science experiments where they dump the catalyst into the bay and it's blowing up everywhere. Yeah, that's what it was. That was what's happening inside my belly. That those Instagram videos where you see shit just exploding out of a beaker. That was me. And guess what? I'm not seeing a bathroom anywhere close that I want to go into. So I got to get back. And I said, oh my, look at the time. And he's like, oh, we have plenty. We have nothing to do today. I'm like, oh, maybe not you. I'm like, looking at my imaginary watch. I'm like, oh, look at the time. I got to go. Because it's funny for Fred, even though he's got a crisis going on. It's funny to me. Oh, my, look at the time. Oh, no, we have to do. No, here we go. You know what? I got this. So throw some fucking rupees down, I'm out of here. We got to go. And he's like, oh, he goes, but we did not. I think I can find my way back through this maze of terror. So we go back, and I'm sitting there. I got wild dogs chasing me. Get out of here. I got people, one T-shirt, I'm going to wipe my butt with that shirt. I got to get the fuck back here. I got little blind kids going, please.
How'd you remember the way back?
I ran. I didn't care. I was homing pigeon mode there because you know what? I wasn't shitting in the street, and I definitely wasn't shitting in a hole, and I wasn't shitting in that. And I'm like running down. I'm like, I just got to go. I just followed the people that we fucking beat off. Yeah, get away.
So is Raj following you?
Oh, yeah. He's like, oh, I think we are down this. You better know we're down this street. I think I remember that blind kid and that lame kid over there, Tiny Tim. I say, God bless us, everyone. I'm gone. And I'm like, throwing it. Now, just show me how to get to my hotel. Here's some rupees. Here we go. Blah, blah, blah. So we get back, and I'm saying, unfortunately, I'm sick as a dog on that flight. All right, and I'm like.
So it was to Russia.
On the flight to Russia. It's like an 18-hour flight to Russia. I'm on a plane going, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. So, you know what? I'll even add this shit. I'll give you the rest of it. So things are, I get home. I'm thankful for my time, and I'm home, and at the time, being on tour is hard. It really is. It's it takes a toll on any relationships, and in my family, we had four TVs, and everybody's watching the TV in their own room, and I'm like sitting there in my bedroom, and I'm watching. I still remember it was Westworld. It was like the big hot show at the time. I'm like, oh, this is cool, but and the phone rings at like night. It's like nighttime, and I'm like, what the fuck's the phone to CDC? What the fuck's a CDC calling me? And I'd taken a Lyme disease test. I'm like, oh, call me about my Lyme disease test, just a checkup, blood checkup and shit like that. I'm like, hey, hi. She's like, hi, can I speak to Fred Kowalo? I'm like, yeah, hey, hi, it's got him. And he says, sir, the CDC, we're calling. Yeah, you calling about my Lyme disease test? We got the results. You're going to tell me them over the phone? She goes, no, that's not what I'm calling for, sir. We're calling to tell you need to go see a doctor ASAP, according to your blood test. And I'm like, why? She said, well, sir, yeah, I'm really not. Well, what am I going to go look at? I'm making jokes. And she goes, sir, this is serious. She says, you have some of the rarest forms of salmonella on the planet in your system. And I'm like, okay. And, so I'm sitting there, and she's like, sir, what you have could be potentially fatal to you, and it's not a joke. I'm like, wait, what? She says, you could die. And I'm like, I'm gonna die. She goes, you need to go get yourself checked immediately. Because like I said, I was making jokes. I mean, even to this day, when I go to the hospital, I make jokes, and they're like, we're not going to admit you. You can't go back. And I'm like, all right, quit joking. So, but she's like, you need to take this serious. She goes, it's potentially fatal. And I'm like, huh? They call me at nighttime to tell me that I got a potentially fatal thing. She's like, I just remember she goes, "Do you feel ill?" I'm like, "Feel the way I always feel, because I've always felt like that, you know." And I'm like, and I described myself. She's like, "Sir, that you've got, you need to go to a hospital now." And I'm like, "Fuck." Like, the last thing I want to do is make my wife's day. You know, honey, guess what? Your dream just came true. I'm going to die. You know, guess what? I'm gonna die.
I got one of the rarest diseases ever in a minute.
I got some rare form of salmonella, and it's going to kill me. And what? You're not upset? Oh yeah, I wouldn't be upset either. It's terrible. No, you're happy that it happened to me. You know, so I said, you know what? Do I tell her this right now in the middle of my show and have to do some explaining, or do I just finish watching the show? And so for typical Fred, who gets told, you could die, sir. Yeah, not before I find out what happens to Dolores and Billy on Westworld. Well, again, I'm going to find out what happens here first, because you know what? I may not be around for the next episode. And so I just got to know. So I didn't say anything. I sat there and watched my show. And I'm glad I did, because she calls me back and goes, "Sir, I am terribly sorry. I am not supposed to give information like that over the phone, but you were just joking and thinking it was a joke. But I've got good news for you. I don't have salmonella." No, you've got it. But you're not gonna. It's not gonna kill you. It's just gonna make you really, really sick. Oh, well, okay, thanks. You still got to go to the doctor. All right. So, but I just remember it was like I had been sick for like a month, and it was bad.
Well, no wonder why. Look what you did.
Well, yeah. I mean, I did. But yeah, the other fun thing was, like, she's like, yeah, it's like from like South America, Mexico, and Asia. You've got like strains. I'm like, strains? You can tell all that? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. Blah blah blah. But I'm sitting there, but I remember I made it. So now, if anybody ever gets sick on tour, I'm like, yeah, it's salmonella. You had the cantaloupe, didn't you, down in Mexico? One day in Mexico, I still remember the place. I can remember every place I got sick on tour. It was Monterrey, Mexico. I made it through an entire tour. We're doing Monterey, and we're coming home. Everything's going to be great. We're doing Monterey. It's beautiful, Monterey. I'm like, this is so great. I made it. Everybody else got sick. I didn't get sick. This is awesome. And some idiot put a picture of grape Kool-Aid on the counter. I'm like Superman, but grape Kool-Aid is my kryptonite. Anything grape crush, grape knee high, grape juice, grape Kool-Aid. And there's a picture of it, and nobody else is touching it. You know what? Ice cold grape Kool-Aid. I drank
made
that.
Made out of Mexican water.
That's right. Mexican water, Mexican ice. Guess who was sick? So that was my other, salmonella, dysentery thing. Because you get it off a cantaloupe. Ugh. Oh, is that an iguana? Let me play with that wild iguana out in the wild. Yeah, you get it from like lizards, shit like that. Yeah, so that's
leafy vegetable.
Yeah,
that's what got you sick in. That's what got you sick in India.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It was the potatoes.
It was the potatoes and the onions grow in the ground. Onions are from the ground, and onions collect bacteria from the environment around them. And here I am eating probably not cooked. It was roasted on the outside, still wet on the inside. And I'm sitting there, oh, this is great. Yeah, that's what got me sick on that.
I know you've got a split time-wise, but I have to ask you. Ben wants to, if you have time to do this, Ben wants to know, he heard, third, fourth hand, that you threw up in your boot on an airplane. Is that true?
All right, so we're talking about airplanes.
Is that true?
Yeah, so check it out. So the Russian thing, the flight from India to Russia, I spent time, it was like, I didn't care. I'm
that sick.
Oh, yeah, I'm like, I'm dying. I'm dying here. I'm going to die.
In the air.
In the air. I'm going to die. It's an 18-hour flight. And they're like, sir, are you alive? I'm fine. I had an onion in a rat. A rat wouldn't even eat it, but I did. I drank some sea monkeys, and I'm like dying in there. And they're like, sir, you just can't sit in the bathroom the entire. I'm like, I'm dying. It's okay. Well, So that was that. So we're in Tel Aviv, Israel, and I was out, and we're flying. I don't even know. We're flying to Germany, and so we're flying from Tel Aviv to like Frankfurt or something like that. Not a bad flight. I've done it, before. It's not bad at all. But we're at the airport, and it was a good show, And I'm like, this is, cool. Oh, look, a Mexican place in Tel Aviv. Who knew? There's a Mexican restaurant right there in the airport. So I'm sitting there eating Mexican food, tacos. They're not bad. They're airport fare, you know what I mean? And buy a shot, get a beer free. Beer free, huh? What's the alcohol in that beer? It's 12 something. Holy cow, that's a hell of a beer. Yeah, I'll take a tall on that. Yeah, tacos, burritos, buy a shot, get a 12% beer. Yeah, I'll have a fourth, a fifth, and a sixth. These tacos are great. Yeah. Anyway, 12% beer, about 5, 6, 12, and shots and tacos that probably weren't like the best quality taken care of meat-wise. Yeah, I was on a plane and I passed out. I was sleeping. And I woke up and we hadn't taken off yet. But my stomach said, you better take off. And so as we were sitting, and I run to the bathroom to puke. And the stewards are stopping me. I'm like, I got to go. And I'm puking in the bathroom, man. And full on, got to touch the toilet. And yeah, it was bad. And I get up and I go back to my seat. I apologize. I'm buzzed pretty good. I go to sleep. And everything's fine. I'm sleeping it off. But I know that I'm not feeling good because my stomach's messed up. Could have been the beer. Could have been the shots. If I'm putting money, it was on those Mexican tacos and burritos at a Tel Aviv airport. Well, I wake up with a start. My mouth is slobbering. I'm going to throw up. And I look for a barf bag in my seat back. There's not one. There's not one in my partner, whoever's sitting beside me's seat back. I don't know these people. It's an elderly couple. I don't know them, but they don't have them either. And I get up to run to the bathroom. There's nobody's going to stop me now. And in front of me, to the closest bathroom, is a drink cart. Not a problem. There's always a bathroom in the back of the plane. And I turn around to go, and there's the sandwich snack cart. Guess who's trapped between the carts going to projectile vomit? What do I do? No barf bags, no nothing. I'm not going to puke on a plane, subject these people to it all day. Yeah, I took off my boot and threw up in my boot. This is the right thing to do. And then I passed back out.
Oh, my God. Did you put your boot back on?
No, I didn't put the boot back on. I just left it down there. I covered it up with a fucking blanket and so it wouldn't smell. And fucking.
Oh, it smelled.
Oh, believe me. And I got off that plane thinking, no one saw a thing. No one knows what I did. This is okay. Yeah, they saw. They had pictures of the entire. They had a video of me puking. They had a picture of me in the restaurant. Fucking. I know what I'm
Wait, so you
doing.
walked off the plane with like no shoe on?
No, I walked off the plane with no shoe. No, I put the fucking thing back on. I went to the bathroom, dumped it out, fucking put it back on. I rinsed water through it. It doesn't get the smell out, but Yeah, what I'd forgotten to look for was probably all the splash that was all over my shorts, my socks.
Nice and crusty by
Oh
now,
my
right?
God! Yeah, so I'm walking through the airport going, I got away with this. Nobody even saw me, and I wrapped a hoodie around my waist so nobody could see. I'm like, oh man, why would that be embarrassing? Yeah, they started posting the videos to me. They sent me the videos, sent me the photos. They're like, dude, I went to the bathroom, rinsed it out as best I could out of it. And it's a little sink because you're trying to get the boot underneath there. It was bad. But you know what? It was better than just puking all over the floor or in the seat back or whatever. You ever get on a plane and somebody's like, yeah, I can't sit there. There's shit in the seat. Somebody's got diarrhea. And it's like the person, like sitting there. Oh, dude, that was the other thing from Tel Aviv. That was the other story. It was like a terrible airport story. And I remember I'm sitting in the bulkhead. And, I don't talk to people on planes. Not a lot. But I'm sitting there, and this guy comes in, and it's bulkhead, business class or whatever, and this guy's he's a nuclear physicist. He goes, "Are you with the band?" I'm like, "Yeah, blah blah blah." We're sitting there talking. "Yeah, I saw you guys in the airport." Blah blah blah. I say, "What do you do?" I'm a nuclear. No, dude. Fucking, I want to talk. Somebody intelligent to talk to. This is gonna be great. We're sitting there talking. Blah 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 blah. And the stewardess comes in, and she's directing this lady to a seat, and it's like the last row. And she comes up and she says to the nuclear physicist to me, "This woman is in the very, very back of the plane, but she has a hard time walking. This seat is open. There's a reason why I picked that seat, because it was open for the whatever hour flight back to the U.S. It was like an 18-hour flight from Tel Aviv to Washington, D.C. And there's an empty seat in bulkhead, which is great. It's somebody intelligent to talk to, which is going to be great. Would you gentlemen mind if she sat between you for the flight?" The guy goes, "No, not a problem at all." Me, nicest guy in the world. "No, not a problem. Have a seat, lady. You'll be fine." And she's like, "Oh, thank you so much." She just, was walking back there, stretching my legs, blah, blah, blah. "Not a problem. That's why we're all here. It's just the extra leg room. It's always great, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, it's great." Well, we get up, the flight takes off. Everything's great. But you can she's got gas. Bad gas. And I'm sitting there going, all right. 17 hours, 59 minutes to go. Here we go.
Yeah, nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, nothing you can do about it. You're sitting there. Ding, you're free to move about the cabin. She gets up and she takes a run for the bathroom. All right, she's going to get it out of her system. It'll be fine. "So, tell me about nuclear physicism." So we're sitting there talking. Again, the nose knows. The nose can smell anything. Something smells like shit. And here she comes back. And I'm like, no, wait. She had the toilet seat cover covered in diarrhea stuck to her pants, and she sits down in the seat.
You have to be kidding me.
And she sits down in the seat beside me. And the stewardess is like, "Oh, ma'am, yeah, I'm so sorry. Well, yeah, we'll get you a trash bag or something. Oh, yeah, but yeah, we don't touch that. We don't clean that up. You guys will have to do it."
Wait.
18 fucking hours of sitting there with like a shit covered seat in the middle of me, and I'm sitting there dying. I am not flying from the Middle East again. Ever. It's like the worst. I have the worst luck of anybody.
Was that guy pissed off too?
I don't know. I couldn't talk to him. He was over there, and I wasn't facing that direction. I was praying that there was like a handle I could roll my window down and stick my head out at 40,000 feet to fucking suck the air out, because it was bad. And here you are in a bulkhead too, so you're really not getting.
Was she a bigger woman?
No, she was just a little old lady. She was just a little old lady, like, but it was just like, oh God, and there was no way to suck that air out, and there was nowhere to know, you've got like the guys in front. Everybody's air's full. You're against the bulkhead, so there's like it's dead air. You know, and it's just like that's like the disadvantage to me. You get the leg room, but you can't. You got nowhere to go. But it was bad. So there's my getting sick on a plane stories. It kind of filled up pretty quick, huh? We did all right.
We'll do it again.
All righty.
Not this time. We're not waiting that long.
Yeah, right. That's exactly.
Good to see you, partner.
Well, yeah, good to see you too.
All right, man.
All right, man.
Fred Kowalo.